Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. John Sherk. It is Wednesday morning, this time noon Central Time. And that means this is Brown Bag Lunch, where I come to bring you knowledge and tips and tactics for you to find all the talent that you need in your air conditioning or other service business. So, I want to talk today about clear communication. Clear communication is, in my opinion, the very beginning of performance. It's the beginning of professionalism. Um, it all begins with clear communication. And here's why. Human performance begins with measurement. Okay. If I want to, if I want to be a runner for fun, I can go run. But if I want to perform as a runner, measurement has to happen. And then either a goal or an expectation of some performance running 1 mile in this amount of time or whatever. um, it, it has to be there. Performance begins with measurement. Well, in the case of work, that measurement, it takes the form of a very clear expectation. But we know well, and you've heard me say it before, that from the Gallup organization, that when workers in all industries all over the world are given the statement, I know what is expected of me at work, only 50% of workers strongly agree with that statement. So there is a clarity leak that generally happens. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So what I want to just give you a little bit on today are the verbal and the nonverbal components of clarity. The verbal components of clarity begin with data and judgment. Data are the clear, measurable facts of a situation. It's 40 degrees outside. Judgments are my opinion about a situation. It's cold outside. Those are two different things, right? Um, that person is late all the time is a judgment. That person was 10 minutes late on Monday, 30 minutes late on Tuesday, and 5 minutes late on Wednesday. Okay, that's data. Um, so as you get into your communication, and especially those of you who listen to me in the air conditioning maintenance business, data is central. It's central for technicians to be putting it on their service reports, all of the relevant data, because it's the data that creates the real equipment history. And so when there's data missing, it makes it harder to make decisions later. I can tell you, for people who make financial decisions in a business, they don't make decisions based on judgment, they make it based on data, right? So, if there's talking about replacing a piece of equipment for a commercial client, that's become someone coming in and saying, yeah, that piece of equipment is junky. That's a judgment. There's got to be data there in order for a decision to be made. Otherwise, it's an irresponsible uh, expenditure. So that's the starting point. What am I clarifying with data? Am I bringing data into the conversation? Some people very comfortable with data. They collect data naturally. Others uh, can sometimes view it as a challenge to their trustworthiness. That, well, why do you need all this data? Just trust me. I'm just saying this is what we need to do. And that's a mistake. And I would say in most cases, I would even use the word unprofessional. Professionals bring data, and that's what makes them trustworthy. Okay. If it's hey, you've known me a long time, or I've got a history with, why do I have to bring all this data? Why can't you just trust me? That's a decidedly unprofessional approach, and and risks too much of your relationship. When bringing data settles the issue itself. Trust is there's an amount of it, in a sense, and it can get used up. If you ask too many people to trust you too much, it becomes too burdensome for them emotionally to keep trusting you that much all the time. And data relieves that situation. Okay. So, data versus judgment. And then there are three, usually nonverbal, they can be articulated, but three nonverbal um, communication points. One is my emotions. Um, if I'm very obviously clearly angry, but I don't bring that up, then I'm sending two messages, and I'm going to confuse the person I'm talking to. Okay. There's going to be the content of my words, but anger itself is sending a message, and they're hearing both and they don't know which one to listen to. And the worst is that the anger message is so unarticulated that they've got to fill in the blanks for what is this about? Is this about me? Is this about a situation? What's going on? Okay. And the same thing is true with other emotions, fear. It can even be associated with too much sort of happiness if the message isn't a happy message. It just creates a mismatch of verbal and nonverbal. So the first one's emotions. The second one is what do I want? Um, I work with a good number of young managers, and it's extremely common for them to struggle to say out loud what they want because it comes off as selfish in their mind. The problem is that frontline folks need that to be articulated so they know what to do. And we've all been in conversations where it feels like it seems like they want something from me, but they're not saying what it is. I wonder what's going on. And so it's another source of confusion. If I'm saying something with words, but I'm also wanting something and I'm not saying that, they're going to feel two messages. Okay. And then the last one is very we all know this one, and it's our actions, our general actions. If we say one thing and we don't do it ourselves, then obviously we're sending two messages. Either we're saying uh I didn't really mean it when I told you to do that. We're saying someone else told me to tell you, and I don't really think it's that important. On whatever level, uh, if our actions don't match our words, obviously that's a problem. Now, all of these things have to line up for you to have crystal clear communication and what I would call professional communication. Being able to communicate, accounting for all five of these things data and judgment, feelings, want, and action. Being able to account for all five of those things gives you your maximum clarity in communication, and I think also gives you your maximum professionalism in a communication. At the end of the day, a professional is just someone who can consistently deliver an expectation without creating excess baggage culturally. That's really all professional is. They don't. It isn't that they iron their shirt better than somebody else. It's that they deliver, but they deliver in a way that is not sort of painful or confusing or distracting in how the delivery gets there. Okay, so this is the kind of communication we're talking about. Okay, clear communication, it's very important. All right, that's it for this week. My name is Dr. John Sherk. This has been Brown Bag Lunch. If you'd like to reach out and get to know each other, I just got off a phone call with a new friend who reached out after one of these and enjoyed his company. So please reach out if you'd like to talk. Let's do it. We'll see you next week.